Hello, welcome back to my channel, my dear friends. And don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. I am so glad you are here with me today. Thank you for joining me once again. I want to tell you a story. This story is real. It is about something that completely changed my life. My name is Ahmed. I am 72 years old now. When I was young, I was a completely different person. I was loud, argumentative, and always wanted to be heard. I thought speaking more made me smarter and stronger. But I was wrong. So very wrong. Let me take you back to those days. I woke up every morning ready to talk. At breakfast, I would argue with my wife about small things, the taste of the tea, the news on the radio, even the weather. "No, you don't understand," I would say loudly. She would sigh and stay quiet. At work, in every meeting, I dominated the conversation. I interrupted colleagues. I corrected my boss in front of everyone. I thought I was being confident. In reality, I was pushing people away. Evenings were the same. Friends would come over, and I would turn every casual chat into a debate. Politics, sports, religion, it didn't matter. I had an opinion on everything, and I made sure everyone heard it. My children, who were young then, would try to tell me about their day at school. I would cut them off with advice. "Listen to me, this is how life works," I would say. They stopped sharing. My home, which should have been full of warmth and laughter, felt tense and lonely. I laughed a lot in those days too, but it was loud and empty laughter. Chuckle softly, I thought I was the king of conversations. Little did I know I was becoming the king of isolation. Then one quiet evening, everything shifted. My old father came to visit. He was a man of few words, calm, serious, and wise. He sat on the old wooden chair in our living room, sipping tea slowly. I started my usual routine, complaining about my boss, my colleagues, the world. I was in full flow when he raised his hand gently. He looked straight into my eyes with that deep, peaceful gaze. He said only 4 words: speak less, listen more. Nothing else. No long lecture. No examples. No story. Just those 4 simple words. He finished his tea, smiled softly, patted my shoulder, and left. I sat there stunned. At first, I laughed it off. Laughs, what does he know? I thought. He is from the old generation. Times have changed. But those words refused to leave my mind. They stayed with me like a song stuck on repeat. While eating dinner, while lying in bed, even while arguing the next day at work, I kept hearing them: speak less, listen more. For many days, I resisted. I continued my old ways. But something inside me had started to shift. I began noticing how people reacted when I spoke too much. My wife's tired eyes. My children's silence. My friends making excuses to leave early. For the first time, I felt uncomfortable with my own voice. One evening, after another small fight with my wife, I remembered my father's words again. Instead of replying, I stayed quiet. I listened to her completely. She spoke about feeling unheard for years. She spoke about loneliness even though we lived in the same house. I didn't interrupt. I didn't defend myself. I just listened. When she finished, there were tears in her eyes. And strangely, I felt lighter. That night, I slept better than I had in years. The next morning, I decided to make a plan. A simple one. I took out an old notebook and wrote down 3 things. 1. Listen without interrupting. 2. Write one thing I learned from someone each day. 3. Speak only when necessary. I stuck that paper on the wall near my bed so I would see it every morning. The first week was extremely difficult. My tongue wanted to move on its own. Laughs heartily. During breakfast, my wife mentioned something small about the neighbor. My old habit kicked in. I wanted to give my strong opinion. But I bit my tongue and stayed silent. I nodded and listened. She looked surprised. By the end of the week, I had filled only half a page in my notebook. My entries were short and clumsy. Wife said she feels tired. I listened. But I didn't stop. Slowly, the habit started growing. I began listening to my children. My son came home one day excited about a school project. Instead of telling him what to do, I asked questions and really listened to his ideas. His face lit up. He talked for 20 minutes straight. That was the longest he had spoken to me in months. My daughter told me about her fears about growing up. I listened. I learned she was stronger than I ever imagined. At work, things started changing too. In meetings, I forced myself to stay quiet at first. I listened to others' ideas. Surprisingly, many of them were good, better than mine sometimes. One day, a junior colleague suggested a solution to a problem we had struggled with for weeks. Because I listened, we implemented his idea and succeeded. My boss noticed. "Ahmed, you seem different lately," he said with a smile. I just nodded and laughed inside. If only he knew it was my father's 4 words working magic. There were many hard days, of course. Old habits die hard. Sometimes I would slip and start dominating the conversation again. I would catch myself midway and stop. Speak less, listen more, I would whisper to myself. I would smile at my own foolishness and try again the next day. As weeks turned into months, I noticed deeper changes. My relationship with my wife became warmer. We started talking, real talking. She shared dreams she had kept hidden for years. I shared my fears too. We laughed together more. Real laughter, not the loud empty kind I used to make. Our home filled with peace. The children opened up. They started bringing friends home. The atmosphere changed completely. I also began listening to strangers and elders in the community. I sat with old neighbors on the porch and let them tell their life stories. I learned about struggles, victories, love, and loss. Every story taught me something new. I realized how little I knew about the world and about people. My notebook grew thicker. Pages filled with wisdom I had never noticed before. One particular incident I will never forget. My best friend was going through a tough divorce. In the past, I would have given him long lectures on what he should do. This time, I met him at the tea shop, ordered 2 cups, and just listened for 2 hours. He cried. He shared his pain, regrets, and hopes. At the end, he hugged me and said, "Ahmed, you are the only one who truly listened." That moment touched my heart deeply. I understood the power of those 4 words. Years passed. I kept practicing. I spoke less in arguments. I listened more to feedback. I watched how successful and respected people behaved. They listened carefully. They valued others' thoughts. Time felt more meaningful. My mind became calmer. I felt less angry and more connected. Now, at 72 years old, I look back with gratitude. My wife and I have been married for almost 50 years. Our children are grown up with their own families. They often tell me, "Dad, you taught us the value of listening." My grandchildren love sitting with me because I listen to their little stories about school, toys, and dreams. My father passed away many years ago, but his words still live in me. Every morning when I wake up, I remember him. Sometimes I laugh thinking about my old loud self. Chuckles, that young Ahmed would not recognize the man I am today. Friends, I want to tell you something important. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start small, just like I did. Today, try listening to one person without interrupting. Put away your phone. Look them in the eyes. Hear their words. Feel their emotions. Write down one thing you learned. Do it again tomorrow. And the day after. Some days will be hard. You will want to speak. You will feel the urge to correct or advise immediately. That's normal. When it happens, smile, take a deep breath, and remember, speak less, listen more. This simple practice can save your relationships. It can bring peace to your home. It can make you wiser. It can help you understand yourself better. Because when you listen, you learn. When you learn, you grow. When you grow, you become someone people trust and love. If you are watching this and thinking, "This is me, I talk too much," then this message is for you. Don't wait for a big moment. Don't wait until you lose someone important. Start today. Even if you are in the middle of an argument, pause and listen. You might be surprised by what happens. I still slip sometimes. Old habits try to return. But now I catch them quickly. I laugh at myself and return to the practice. Life is not perfect, but it is much richer when we listen. So my dear friends, I ask you this: what are you doing with your conversations? Are you building bridges or walls? Are you truly hearing the people you love? Be honest with yourself. If the answer is not what you want it to be, change it. You can. One listening moment at a time. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this story. It means you care. It means you are ready to grow. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who talks a lot but needs to listen. Maybe your words, inspired by this, can change their life too. Remember my father's gift to me: speak less, listen more. May this become your guide as well. I will see you in the next story. Until then, listen well, laugh often, and live peacefully. Take care, my friends. God bless you all.